What if you like a girl so much but she rejects you so many times that your brain finally says, nah bro, I'm uninstalling feelings? This is what happens with Sajō, our pathetic desperate MC, and after being rejected millions times like it's a daily routine, he completely changes. Stop talking to her, stop following her like a simp, stop orbiting her like a lost satellite. But the moment he does that and become a Sigma, the girl suddenly gets sad, and now she starts chasing him, hoping he'll go back to his old simp firmware. The story starts with our MC Wataru Sajō screaming, Aika, like his life depends on her. And hearing this, Aika immediately says she doesn't like walking with him at all. No sugarcoating, just straight emotional damage. Just then, a football almost hits Sajō and misses, but it changed something in him. Sajō introduces himself as a high school student whose entire personality was liking one girl. The girl in front of him was Aika, and he liked her way too much. Like if simping was a sport, this man would have Olympic medals. He wants to go on a date with her, but every single time he asks, she rejects him so casually like muscle memory. Finally, Aika tells him that whenever he follows her, something bad always happens, so from today onward he should stop chasing her. And Sajō agrees instantly, not because he's mature, because bro was tired of too many rejections. Later in the classroom, Sajō starts acting strange. No staring, no following, and no simp behavior behind Aika's seat. Seeing this, Aika's friend Mina asks him why he's acting so weird today. Sajō denies everything, pretending he's totally fine while his soul was clearly in recovery mode. After class, Sajō walks out, and Aika immediately assumes that he's just going to following her again. Girl was traumatized from being chased, but Sajō casually says he's just going to the restroom and walks away without even looking at her, and this shocked everyone. Everyone was staring like he just committed a crime against his own character development. Later at lunch, Sajō stands up to leave, but now Aika asks him where he's going, because normally this guy was permanently glued next to her. Sajō calmly says he's going to the cafeteria and will eat there while standing alone. Like a man who has accepted reality, his friend Kaito stops him and asks why he's leaving since he always eats with Aika. Sajō tells him to stop talking nonsense and walks away, leaving his friend stunned. This was not the Sajō they knew. They immediately assumed that bro finally got rejected so hard that his heart rebooted into power-saving mode. Later, Sajō starts thinking about why Aika keeps rejecting him. Right on cue, a girl named Rina approaches him and Sajō instantly panics and asks what he did wrong, why she's looking for him. She introduces herself as Rin and casually leaves, because even side characters don't want to stay too long near this emotional minefield. Back in class, Rin comes again and sits near Sajō. Seeing this, Kaito instantly threatens him and tells him not to say he likes her too. Sajō says Aika is like a goddess to him and she's the only one he likes, which is crazy because that goddess has been rejecting him for years. Just then, Aika enters the class, sees Sajō, and instead of approaching him, quietly moves away. The same girl who hated being chased is now acting shy. Funny how that works. In the next scene we see that Aika was playing volleyball, while Sajō lost his focus while looking at her, due to which his team loses the match. After a while Sajō was drinking water when Kei arrives and asks what he's doing. Sajō coldly asks what she wants. She warns him that Rina already had a boyfriend and was lying to him. Apparently, Rina was very popular and already got a boyfriend back in her second year. Sajō jokingly calls her a spy, but on his way back to class, he actually sees Rin's boyfriend and heard him telling his friends that now he likes Aika. Back in class, Sajō was sitting quietly when Kei asks him what happened and whether he's thinking about Rina. He says nothing is going on but admits that he wanted to ask her something. Just then Rina suddenly shows up in Saju's class and apologizes for disturbing him. She says she wants to talk. The moment she opens her mouth, Kei straight up asks if she wants to talk about her ex-boyfriend. Rina fires back and asks if she even knows how to properly treat a girl. Then Kei casually drops the bomb that everyone knows she broke up and asks whether she's trying to make Sajō her backup boyfriend. Rina instantly snaps and tells her to shut up and says he has no right to talk about her ex. She storms off and Sajō chases after her like sorry was his default setting. He apologizes not just for himself but on behalf of everyone who made her uncomfortable. At this point, he's apologizing for crimes he hasn't even committed yet. Rina calms down and asks him why, whenever he's with her, he never talks about Aika. Sajō explains that when he's with a girl, he doesn't feel right talking about another girl. He admits that after being rejected so many times, his heart is just tired. Rina then opens up about her breakup. She explains that the things she liked, her boyfriend didn't like, but she knows he still cared about her. She believes their breakup happened because of misunderstandings and says she wants to catch up with him again. Hearing this, Sajō mentally judges her and wonders if relationships are just children's games where you break up whenever you feel like it. But out loud, he tells her about his own past. He reveals that before Aika, he was rejected by another girl back in middle school. And not just rejected. That girl told told her boyfriend to beat him up. The guy slapped Sajō so hard that he fell onto Aika's plots by accident, and Aika slapped him too. Despite that, Sajō remembers Aika as a kind person. He recalls a moment when he fell to the ground in cafeteria and Aika extended her hand to help him up. This single memory was enough for him to turn into her lifelong supporter and emotional shareholder. Hearing all this, Rina gets motivated. Later, Aika and Kei notices Rina going somewhere with her boyfriend. Turns out, Rina managed to reconnect with him because Sajō shared all her emotional baggage and accidentally became a free therapist. Sajō later explains all this to Aika and Kei, saying that sometimes special things happen at special times, and that doesn't mean you should abandon your partner. Aika asks him if he's really okay. Sajō says yes, he's fine. Biggest lie of the series. Later, Sajō was alone at home thinking he should probably move on from Aika now. Just then Aika comes to Sajō's house. Seeing her, Sajō casually says there's no one else home, which instantly makes Aika panic, but he reassures her and says he won't do anything weird. He explains that since she kept rejecting him, he stopped chasing her, and while they were talking, his sister was secretly listening like premium drama content. When Sajō walks Aika home, he tells her he's exhausted chasing after her and doesn't want to keep following her anymore. He says now they're just classmates, nothing more, and if she wants, they can stay friends and she can even introduce him to her friends who might like him. Hearing this, Aika's face drops down and she straight up runs away. Emotional damage successfully delivered. Next day, Kei tells Sajō that because he's always around her, no other guy approaches her. This triggers a flashback where Sajō remembers asking her out and all the girls assuming they're starting again. Sajō realizes that if he doesn't talk to Aika, nobody else will either, so he decides to promote Aika in class like she's a limited edition character banner. Suddenly, another girl approaches him and asks if he's the senior who scared her junior yesterday. Sajō remembers that he accidentally scared a girl previous day and immediately apologizes. The girl laughs and says she was just joking and that he didn't mean any harm. Still, Sajō apologizes again because this man runs on guilt, not oxygen. As he tries to leave, the girl stops him and asks if he knows her. Sajō replies that it's rare for someone not to know her, since she's the amazing student council president Rin Shinomia. She then explains that the junior acted rude because she doesn't know how to talk to boys. Sajō says even if it were another girl, the result would have been the same. And just as he's about to leave, she grabs his hand and says she wants to talk. Later in student council room, she introduces the girl as Yu Ichich, a hardworking member of the student council. And just like that, Sajō accidentally unlocks yet another route while still pretending he's done with romance. She tells him that sometimes Yu completely loses her confidence. And Yu admits she tried everything to help maintain that confidence, but nothing worked. Sajō then gives peak overthinker advice and tells Shinomia to just gently pat Yu on the shoulder. Shinomia asks if that's really enough, and Sajō replies that if a student council president pats a member's shoulder, it would make them really happy. He even adds that Shinomia is basically a goddess to her members. Bro really said, authority plus soft touch equals instant morale boost. Next day, Sajō was standing while carrying some stuff, and his sister warns him not to drop anything. Meanwhile, Sajō was internally questioning why girls are so complicated, as if he himself isn't the final boss of confusion. His sister asks if he talked to that girl, and Sajō says yes. Right then, Aika walks past them. Seeing this, Keat casually takes the items from Sajō's hands and tells him to go talk to her instead. Sajō and Aika say good morning to each other and walk to school together like nothing ever happened. At school, Aika tells him that the student council president seems really mad at him. And as soon as Sajō enters class, Shinomia was already there, waiting like an unpaid HR meeting. She tells him to meet her in the student council room during lunch and leaves. During lunch, Sajō brings food for the president and finds Yu there. He asks why he was called and immediately starts apologizing again for scaring Yu that day. Shinomia straight up asks him why he keeps apologizing all the time. Sajō says because he never wants to scare anyone. As Sajō tries to leave, Shinomia stops him and explains that Yu was actually very scared that day and that she wants to apologize and formally thank him. Sajō says he didn't need it at all, but Yu tells him that his intentions were genuine and that she misunderstood him. She apologizes and promises to work hard on talking properly with boys. Sajō encourages her and leaves. Back in class, Kei notices that everyone was talking happily with Aika, and Sajō was clearly relieved seeing that she's not alone anymore. Kei tells him he should also go talk to her, but before he can move, Sajō gets a message from his sister asking him to meet in the student council room after class. When Sajō meets his sister, she asks for help with some documents. Bro really can't escape responsibilities anywhere. Later, Yu worries that Sajō might still be angry with her because she told him she wanted to overcome her fear of talking to boys. Shinomia follows Sajō's advice and gently pats Yuyu's shoulder, telling her not to worry. And just like that, Yuyu instantly cheers up, and Shinomiya thought that Sajō's method was successful. Next day, Aika arrives in class, and her friends ask if they can visit her house because they want to meet her sister, saying she's super cute. When Sajō arrives, his friend tells him they're planning to go to Aika's house and asks if he'll come. Sajō immediately says he doesn't want to go, dodging social events like it's a survival instinct. After class, Aika asks him directly if he really won't come tomorrow. Suddenly, Shinomiya appears and asks Sajō why he hasn't gone home yet, saying she needs to talk to him. Later, Shinomiya thanks Sajō for helping Yuyu by following his advice. But then she mentions another problem. Yuyu feels disappointed because she thinks she didn't properly express her gratitude properly to Sajō. Next day, it was insanely hot. Sajō barely survives the heat and makes it to class. Kei greets him good morning, and Sajō immediately tells her not to stand in front of him wearing such short clothes because his heart can't handle it. Bro said this with zero shame. Kei fires back and tells him not to call the summer uniform short clothes, and calls him a pervert to his face. She then asks if he went to Aika's house yesterday. Before they can continue, the teacher walks in. Later, Kei was looking at photos in Aika's kitchen and notices one where Aika looks really sad. She asks Sajō why he hasn't talked to Aika at all today. Sajō says it's because they're sitting far apart. Then a guy comes up to talk to Aika. Sajō explains that these days, a lot of people are talking to her, and if he interferes, it would be awkward again. He adds that if he starts talking to Aika like before, her friends might leave her. Kei tells him that's not true, but Sajō says that for now, it's better this way. Bro really chose self-sacrifice plus emotional suppression as his character build. And honestly, he's trying to be mature, but his heart is still doing parkour every time he sees Aika face with open mouth dashing away. In the next scene, all the boys were playing football together. During the game, one of Sajō's classmates tells him that Aika's younger sister was extremely cute. He even shows Sajō a photo of her. Looking at it, Sajō thinks to himself that her sister truly looks like an angel. At this point, even his overthinking brain had no counterargument. Then Sasaki asks Sajō why he did not come yesterday. Sajō calmly replies that he was not invited. Immediately after that, Sajō forwards all of Sasaki's photos to his elder sister. Sasaki panics and begs him to stop. Sajō tells him that he is underestimating his sister and that she personally asked him to send activity reports about Sasaki. Later, Sajō was about to eat lunch alone in his classroom when Yamazaki suddenly jumps onto him. Yamazaki asks him not to eat alone and invites him to eat together. He also calls Koga to join them. Yamazaki then asks Sajō why he has been talking so little lately and whether he is becoming an introvert. Sajō directly replies that yes, he has become an introvert. Koga then asks him what happened between him and Aika and why they are no longer behaving like a married couple. She even jokingly suggests that they might have already done everything. Yamazaki adds that it feels like they have been like that since middle school. Sajō immediately shuts them down and tells them not to make stupid assumptions. He says that he does not even know where Aika lives. Suddenly, Aika grabs Sajō by the arm and pulls him away. She takes him into an empty room. Looking at her expression, Sajō feels that she is extremely angry. His imagination starts running wild as he wonders why she is so furious with him. Aika steps very close to him, clearly upset. Sajō nervously asks her to tell him why she is angry. Holding back tears, she tells him that he was talking to so many girls in class. After saying this, she runs away immediately. Back in class, Sajō keeps thinking about why Aika was angry. He asks Ashida whether Aika would get angry if he talked to Yamazaki and Koga. Before Ashida can answer, a boy approaches Sajō and says he wants to talk to him. The boy asks whether it is true that Sajō is in love with someone. Sajō asks how he knows that. The boy replies that Sajō has clearly changed recently. Sajō says that he has only stopped behaving strangely. The boy then asks whether Sajō's elder sister knows about this change. Sajō replies that his sister does not really take interest in his life. The boy disagrees and says that Sajō's sister is actually very worried about him. He explains that she believes Sajō's change happened because of her. He also says that he has never seen her look so weak before, which is why he wants Sajō to talk to her properly. Later, Sajō goes to the rooftop and calls out to his sister. He asks her if it is true that she is worried. He admits that he has given up hope on many things, including things he once believed in strongly. He tells her that she does not need to worry so much. His sister responds seriously and says that many people claim they have given up on someone, but that is rarely true. She explains that someone once ended up in a terrible state because of this, and she does not want the same thing to happen to Sajō. She adds that if it does, she would blame herself. Sajō replies by saying that she thinks he is the type of person who could never forget Aika. He accuses her of suddenly trying to act like a caring elder sister. He sarcastically says that she is not usually kind, that she makes him do all the the work while she lies on the sofa like the house belongs to her. He declares that if she stops acting like that, she will no longer be his elder sister, because that is the version of her he prefers. His sister warns him that this is his last chance while she is still trying to be kind. Sajō asks why kindness needs a last chance and says she should normally be kind. At that moment, Aika suddenly grabs Sajō by the collar and demands to know how he dares to talk to his sister like that. Sajō asks whether she has been following him all this time. Aika suddenly realizes what she has been doing and understands that she has been chasing Sajō herself. Shocked by this realization, she runs away. On his way home, Sajō thinks that everyone acted strangely today. On the other side, Aika is shown talking to Ashida. Ashida says that Aika ran away very quickly after being near Sajō and asks why she was following him in the first place. Aika brings up the day everyone visited her house. Ashida remembers and says that her sister Eri was very cute. Aika explains that Eri played a lot with Sasaki that day. Ashida asks whether that was not allowed. Aika says that it was fine. Ashida then understands and says that Aika does not want anyone to outshine her sister, and that when she sees Sasaki, she ends up thinking about Sajō. Ashida asks whether Sajō has stopped chasing her recently. Aika admits that she does not understand why she keeps thinking about him. Ashida tells her that it is because Sajō has a place in her heart. Aika denies it and says that Sajō only annoys her. Ashida replies that being liked feels good, and when someone like that suddenly disappears from your life, it hurts. She tells Aika that if she truly likes Sajō, then it is time for her to take a step. The next morning, Sajō was having breakfast. His sister tells him to look at his hair. He notices that it has grown quite long. She says that since his hair has two colors, he should dye it properly. Sajō replies that he will do it when the time comes. On the way to school, Sajō receives another message from his sister saying that he does not need to come today either. Aika tries to say something to him, but Sajō walks away before she can. At lunchtime, Sajō sits alone at a table. Suddenly, the student council president appears in front of him and asks why he started eating without asking whether they could share the table. Sajō replies that her companion looks extremely intimidating. After a brief pause, he agrees to sit with them. And once again, Sajō finds himself pulled into another women's situation, even though he keeps telling himself that he wants a peaceful life. At that moment, Yu notices Sajō and greets him politely. She then introduces him to Isa, who turns out to be Yu's childhood friend. Soon after, Isa and Yu leave to remove their plates. While they are gone, Shinomia asks Sajō what he thinks about the changes in Yu. Sajō honestly says that he was obviously very shocked. He then reminds that she herself told him to stay away from Yu. Shinomiya replies that she could never abandon someone who helped her change Yu for the better. Later, Sajō returns to his classroom and notices that Sasaki looks extremely stressed. Sajō soon learns that Sasaki's sister has been sending him many messages. Sasaki explains that whenever he is not at home, his sister floods him with messages. At that moment, Ashida and Aika enter the classroom. Seeing this, Sasaki pulls Sajō outside and confesses that he likes Aika. Sajō calmly replies that he cannot do anything about that because the decision belongs entirely to Aika. Afterward, Sajō looks at Aika and starts thinking quietly. He tells himself that he genuinely supports her. He also admits that Sasaki does not seem like a bad person and that Sasaki has already created a place for himself in Aika's heart. Because of this, Sajō decides that he will not try to get close to her anymore. Later, when Sajō was about to go home alone, Aika suddenly approaches him and grabs his shirt. Sajō asks her whether she forgot something at school. Aika replies vaguely and says it is something like that. They both return to the classroom together to look for it. While searching, Aika tells Sajō that she wants to ask him something. She asks where he went during lunch break. Sajō replies that he went to the cafeteria to eat. Aika asks who he ate with. Sajō answers that he was alone. Aika tells him that eating alone is not good and that eating with others is better. Sajō then adds that he actually ate with moral committee members that day. Hearing this, Aika asks why he does not eat with them like before. Sajō was unable to answer properly. Inside his mind, he keeps thinking that if he starts talking to Aika like before, her friends might leave her. Because of this fear, he accidentally blurts out that he does not want that. As they leave, Aika tells Sajō to dye his hair properly. Sajō replies that he will take care of it soon, mentioning that his sister told him the same thing. Later, Sajō chooses brown as the color while dyeing his hair. The next day, exam results are announced. Sajō finds out that his rank is 65. Seeing this, he starts thinking about the past. During middle school, his rank used to be within the top 30, and he was able to attend this school because of his academic performance. He also realizes that he studied seriously back then because of Aika. Sajō then checks Aika's result and sees that she is ranked first, as usual. He notices that she is surrounded by friends, talking happily. He thinks that in the past, he would have gone and joined them immediately. However, he now feels that watching watching her from a distance is not that bad. He believes this change is proof of his growth, and as a supporter, he feels proud of her. Later in class, the girls start planning their summer vacation together. Sasaki asks Aika whether she will invite Sajō as well. One of the girls points out that Sajō does not talk to Aika much these days and wonders if he feels embarrassed around her. At that moment, a blonde girl notices Sajō and asks whether he is looking for Aika. Sajō calmly asks if she is the one searching for Aika. The girl starts waving her hands exaggeratedly and then scolds him for sneaking up on people. She proudly announces that she is a noble. Hearing this, Sajō looks completely unimpressed and asks whether being a noble means shouting like a crazy person. Marika's supporter immediately scolds Sajō and says that Marika does not behave like that. Sajō once again speaks sharply, which angers Marika. She declares that there is no benefit in talking to people like him and storms off. The next day, it was raining heavily. Aika is shown walking to school when she suddenly bumps into Sajō. Sajō greets her politely and comments that it feels a little cold today. Aika responds awkwardly. Sajō then walks ahead, thinking to himself that this must be some kind of illusion. Confused, Aika starts following him, wondering what has happened to him. I mean, she is literal example of mixed signals. Suddenly, Sajō notices a truck approaching Aika on the water-filled road. Without thinking, he rushes toward her and blocks the splashing water with his umbrella. As a result, Sajō ends up completely soaked. When Sajō finally arrives in class, his condition looked terrible. He is drenched, exhausted, and clearly paying the price for caring more than he admits. And once again, Sajō proves that even when he tries to stay distant, his actions betray him every single time. At that moment, the teacher looks at Sajō and tells him that she understands his condition was not very good, but he still cannot sleep during the lecture. Hearing this, Sajō politely asks whether he can go to the school infirmary. The teacher gives him permission, and Sajō slowly stands up to leave the classroom. However, just as he reaches the classroom gate, Sajō suddenly collapses. Seeing this, Aika and Ashida become extremely worried. The teacher rushes over and asks him whether he is all right. Later, the school doctor explains to Ashida and Aika that Sajō has a mild fever, but he will recover soon. When Ashida and Aika go to check on him, Sajō was already asleep. Aika is shown looking genuinely worried about him. Around the same time, Shinomia enters the classroom, and many students surround her immediately. She then approaches Ashida and asks about Sajō. Ashida explains everything that happened. Hearing this, she asks whether Sajō's elder sister has been informed. Ashida replies that they plan to visit Sajō again. She asks whether Shinomiya would like to come along. After school ends, Ashida and Aika go to visit Sajō again. This time, Sajō was awake. Ashida asks him whether he is feeling better. Sajō apologizes and says that everyone became worried because of him. Suddenly, his head starts hurting again. Seeing this, Aika reaches out to touch him, but Sajō immediately tells her not to touch him, saying that he does not want anyone else to catch a fever because of him. After that, all of them go together to see Sajō, and when Shinomiya tries to touch his head, Sajō doesn't stop her. This makes Aika really sad and jealous. The next day, Sajō does not come to school. Because of this, Aika looks slightly upset. In the evening, the scene shifts to Sajō's house, where he sees Ashida and Aika coming to visit him. When Sajō opens the door, Aika immediately questions him about the confusing messages he sent, especially the one saying, "I am still alive." Sajō then notices that he has received many messages and explains that he fell asleep. Aika then apologizes to him, saying that he got soaked in the rain because of her. The next day at school, Sajō once again encounters that girl, who asks why he is behaving coldly toward her. She then notices Aika and goes to talk to her instead. She tells Aika that she is very cute and a top student, and arrogantly says that she will allow Aika to praise her in front of everyone. Hearing this, Aika becomes completely confused. The girl then reveals her real intention and asks Aika to help her become the next student council member. Aika asks whether a first-year student can even become part of the student council. The girl explains that the student council is open to students of all years. Sajō comments that this logic makes sense. He then adds that everyone expects the vice president to become the next president. The girl replies that the vice president has already said she has no interest in becoming president, and currently no second-year student has announced their candidacy. However, when the time comes, many people will stand up, which is why she needs support from now. Sajō bluntly tells her that this is a pointless move. He explains that Aika is already very popular, and if she becomes her partner, people will question why Aika herself is not running for president. He even adds that, objectively speaking, Aika is far more beautiful than her. Hearing this, the girl becomes furious and storms off. The next day, After class ends, he leaves and goes to the cafeteria to buy food. Thinking about the heat outside, he decides to eat indoors. However, Yu calls out his name and pulls him outside. Sajō asks her whether she needs something, adding that he does not think they are very close. Then Shinomia steps in and says that she actually has something important to discuss. She directly asks whether Sajō would join the committee. Sajō replies that he does not have anything special that would qualify him. She explains that she is the chairman and will retire in winter. She tells him that the committee is mostly filled with girls who are only there for fun, and at a time like this, she remembered Sajō and his past advice. She asks him to support the committee. Sajō says that there is still time to think about it. Shinomiya replies that this is exactly why she wants him to start thinking now. As Sajō opens his food packet, he begins to think quietly. Suddenly, Yu grabs his hand and says that they are depending on him. Realizing what she has done, Yu quickly lets go his hand out of embarrassment. Seeing this, both girls become angry. Yo-Yo then grabs Sajō's hand again and apologizes repeatedly, which only makes the situation worse. Sajō steps back and says that this is exactly why he is not suitable for the committee. Hearing this, the girls become even more upset. Later, a school-wide meeting is shown where a student gives a speech. After that, the student council president gives her speech and dismisses everyone to attend their classes. In the final class, the teacher says there is one more thing to decide. She asks who would like to help with the summer tour. No one responds. Seeing this, the teacher says that if no one volunteers, she will choose students who have no activities during summer vacation and go straight home. Hearing this, Aika, Sajju, and several other students stand up. Since there are too many students, the teacher suggests playing rock, paper, scissors. Sajju plays first and wins, meaning the other student loses and will help during summer vacation. In the end, only Aika and one last girl remain. The girl looks extremely nervous, so Aika tells her not to worry and says that it does not really matter. At that moment, Sasaki offers to take the girl's place. She agrees. In reality, Aika had lost, and Sasaki wanted to work with her so that they could spend time together. The teacher announces that class is over and that they will meet again after the holidays. As everyone leaves, Ashida comments that Aika and Sasaki look good together. Sajju agrees calmly. Ashida asks how he can stay so normal about this. Sajju simply replies, like this, and walks out of the classroom. And just like that, Sajju once again chooses silence, even when his feelings are clearly not as calm as his face suggests. A few days later, a new scene is shown where Sajju was working part-time at a bookstore, handling packing and cleaning duties. While he was cleaning, he notices 3 older boys bullying a small child. Seeing this, Sajju immediately goes over and protects the child, forcing the older boys to back off. At that moment, the child's elder sister arrives and hugs her younger brother tightly. Sajju explains that some middle school students were bothering him. Hearing this, the girl thanks Sajju sincerely. When Sajju looks at her, he suddenly freezes and keeps staring. Inside his mind, he starts wondering whether she might be a college student. The younger brother apologizes for wandering around alone in a quiet area. The sister gently tells him that a kind and wonderful person saved him. Hearing this praise, Sajju becomes visibly embarrassed. Later, the scene shifts to Sajju's house. He cannot stop thinking about that kind person comment. While he was lost in thought, Keith suddenly orders him to hurry up and bring her coffee. Sajju quietly goes to prepare coffee for both of them. While handing it to her, he asks whether preparations for the school tour are going well. She confidently tells him not to worry, saying she did not become vice president for no reason. She then mentions that she heard he was invited to join the moral committee. Sajju asks how she knows. She replies that Shinomiya told her. She then asks whether he plans to join the committee. Sajju immediately says that it is impossible for him. Hearing this, Keith casually tells him that he should join the student council instead. Sajju was so shocked that he almost spits out his coffee. She calmly tells him that she is serious and that he should think about it carefully. Later, Sajju is shown working again at the same shop. The same girl from before appears and thanks him once again. She apologizes for leaving in a hurry that day and gives him a small gift before leaving. After she goes, Sajju opens the gift and finds a children's handkerchief inside. Seeing this, he wonders whether he looks like a child in her eyes. The next day, the girl comes to meet Sajju again. He notices the bracelet on her hand and says it looks very stylish. She tells him that she made it with her father. Sajju was surprised and thinks about how, despite being a college student, she still does things together with her father. When he asks for the shop's name, she moves very close to him to show it on his phone. Because of this, her plots accidentally touches him, causing Sajju to blush instantly. She confirms the shop name and then asks him directly whether he would like to go with her the next day. Her intense gaze makes Sajju nervous, and he had no choice but to agree. The next day, Sajju goes with Fuka to the same shop. He thinks that maybe college students are simply like this, because it does not feel like bringing him along is a big deal for her. She shyly tells him that she is worried that someone might see her. She explains that she wears such clothes only when she is with people like him, meaning those who are not from her college. Sajju asks whether she normally wears clothes like this. She replies that she likes trying new outfits. Sajju honestly tells her that the dress looks very beautiful on her. At the same time, Ashida, Aika, and Eri are shown leaving together for their outing. They eventually reach Sajju's house. Ashida rings the doorbell, but no one answers. Ashida suggests that he is probably at his part-time job and comments that she thought he would be free by now. Meanwhile, Sajju and Fuka were shown walking together. Sajju wonders whether college students go on long drives when they go on dates. Fuka teasingly asks whether he is looking for beautiful girls in swimsuits. Sajju immediately denies it and says that he was simply thinking about how beautiful the scenery is. Fuka grabs Sajju's arm to pull him toward the shop, and her plots touches him again, making Sajju blush deeply. Realizing this, she apologizes and explains that it is a habit of hers to grab people like that. As she walks, her movements make Sajju think to himself that college students are truly something else. They arrive at the shop, where the shop owner welcomes them. The owner quickly recognizes Fuka and teasingly asks whether she came with her boyfriend today. Fuka becomes flustered and denies that kind of relationship. The owner smiles and accepts the explanation. Sajju starts looking at materials to make a gift for Aika. He soon realizes that it is far more difficult than he expected and becomes extremely serious. The shop owner notices this and asks whether he is making a gift. Sajju confirms that a friend's birthday is coming up. When asked whether it is for a girl, Sajju admits that it is and says he wants to make something beautiful. The owner shows them suitable materials and Fuka helps Sajju choose a pink material. Sajju wonders whether pink would suit Aika, but quickly decides that it would not, since her hair is already pink. Fuka then asks whether the gift is for someone Sajju likes. Sajju replies honestly that she is not his girlfriend, because she does not want to be in a relationship, but he still likes her. He admits that it is one-sided love. At the same time, Ashida and Eri are shown playing together. After getting tired, Ashida sits beside Aika. They notice the same shop nearby. Inside the shop, Sajju was explaining to the owner what kind of gift he wants to make. And without realizing it, Sajju finds himself once again moving forward, even though he keeps telling himself that he has already given up. While looking around the shop, Sajju notices a photo hanging on the wall and casually asks Fuka whether the girl in the picture is her younger sister. Hearing this, she calmly replies that it is actually her own middle school photo. She explains that she came here with her father about a year ago. She then realizes that she never properly introduced herself properly and tells him that she is currently a third-year middle school student. Hearing this, Sajju was completely shocked. His brain stops functioning for a moment as reality hits him all at once. Soon after, Ashida and Aika enter the shop. The shop owner tells them that most of the items are already sold out. Sajju narrowly avoids disaster because he leaves the shop just before Aika notices him there. On the other side, Aika is shown looking at the remaining items in the shop. At the same time, Eri notices a photo of Sajju and Fuka together which was taken when they were working together. After leaving the shop, Aika buys ice cream for everyone, and while they were eating she sees a couple passing by and the boy was looking just like Sajju, but Aika dismisses the thought that he could ever get a girl. Meanwhile, Sajju and Fuka are shown heading home. Sajju checks his phone and realizes that he has been added to a group chat. When he opens it, he sees a photo of Aika wearing a swimsuit. At the same time, Fuka becomes tired and leans against Sajju's shoulder, falling asleep. Sajju remains frozen, unsure how to react. The next day, Sajju asks the shop owner at bookstore what he will do once Sajju leaves the job after school starts. The elderly man replies that he will hire someone new. Hearing this, Sajju finally understands that the advertisement outside the shop is for his position. As the owner leaves, he tells Sajju that until he quits, he will become the senior for the new worker. At that moment, a girl appears at the door. Sajju looks at her closely and realizes that she is a student from his class named Mina. He asks her why she is here and she replies that she came to apply for the job. Sajju was shocked and starts wondering whether this is a good idea. The shop owner mentions that she is a regular customer and that he never expected her to apply for the job. Mina hands over her resume and the owner comments that she is very hardworking. The owner then takes her to his wife, who explains how the shop works. The older woman mentions that Mina needs to cut her hair for the job. Hearing this, Sajju quickly enters the room. Seeing him, the older woman explains that she was only teaching her how to work. At this point, Sajju starts wondering what he should do next. He introduces himself to the girl and asks how she usually manages her hair while reading. She demonstrates by using a hair clip. Sajju realizes that this is the first time he has properly seen her face. He tells her that working together will be enjoyable. The older woman also seems satisfied now and casually comments that this this will be sufficient. The next day, Sajō greets her in the morning. She responds very quietly. Seeing this, Sajō wonders whether she will be able to handle the job. He explains to her that some customers come only to look around and do not buy anything. Soon, a customer enters the shop and chooses 2 books. The man then asks whether the shop sells inappropriate books. Sajō immediately realizes that the customer is trouble. He steps in and firmly asks whether the man intends to buy the books. The customer pays and leaves. After this incident, Mina starts crying. Sajō reports the situation to the shop owner and explains how the customer was bothering her. He adds that he left her with the owner's wife because he believes this situation is better handled by a woman. Sajō then starts thinking about what will happen after he leaves the job. He worries whether she will be able to manage on her own. He also remembers that she is usually alone at school. He goes back to her and tells her honestly that the customer was a bad person and that no one can handle customer service perfectly at the beginning. He explains that such customers should be handled casually. He then asks what she truly wants to do. She replies that she does not want to quit the job. Lowering her head, she says she will work harder and asks him not to fire her. Sajō tells her not to bow her head like that and reminds her that he is also just a part-time worker. The shop owner then comes and asks what happened. Sajō tells him that she will continue working and that she will do her best starting tomorrow. That night, Sajō receives a video call from Aika and Ashida. He answers the call, and Ashida tells him that he looks very tired. Sajō admits that he is stuck in trouble. Aika asks him to explain. Sajō says that he made Mina kneel at work today. Hearing this, both of them become angry. Aika tells him that he crossed the line. Sajō quickly explains that it was not like that, and that it happened because he commented too much on her personality. After hearing everything, Aika tells him that it was not his fault. While they continue talking, Ashida quietly leaves. Sajō then asks why Aika is not turning on her camera. She replies that she just finished bathing. Hearing this, Sajō becomes extremely embarrassed. Aika was about to turn on the camera, but Sajō quickly makes an excuse and ends the call, making Aika furious. The next day, Sajō apologizes to Mina for what happened yesterday. This time, she responds more confidently. Sajō notices that she looks much more energetic than before. Later, a customer enters the shop, and she handles the conversation very well. Seeing this, Sajō praises her and asks what happened today. She replies that she watched some customer service videos. Sajō tells her that she did a perfect job, which makes her very happy. During the break, Sajō asks why she wants to work so seriously. She replies that she wants to become independent and stop depending on her brother. Sajō asks whether she has a brother. She replies that her brother is a student council member. Sajō tells her that relying on an older brother is not a problem. She admits that she wants to rely on him but cannot. She then explains that she loves her brother very much. She recalls how she used to study while sitting on his lap. One day, her brother brought a girl home. She immediately realized that the girl was Yuri's sister. Feeling uneasy, she went to her brother's room and saw him kissing that girl. Hearing this, Sajō understands why she avoids facing her brother and why she chose to find a job. She resumes working diligently. Sajō also continues his work. At that moment, Fuka enters the shop. Sajō introduces her to Mina, saying that Fuka is his friend. He adds that they will get along well because both of them enjoy reading. Fuka happily takes Mina's hand and says she is glad to meet a fellow reader and hopes they become good friends. Later, Sajō notices that the two of them are talking comfortably. However, he also realizes that there are no customers in the shop. Without customers, she cannot practice. After some time, Fuka leaves and tells her that she will read the book she recommended next time. After she leaves, Mina asks whether any customers came today other than Fuka. Sajō replies that it happens sometimes. He adds that Fuka is a good person and that after he leaves the job, the two of them should continue talking properly. Mina asks whether he is quitting the job. Sajō explains that he was already planning to quit, which is why the part-time recruitment notice was posted. He adds that the shop does not need 2 workers. Later, Sajō returns home and his sister orders him to make coffee like a strict boss. Sajō silently prepares it. While doing so, he keeps thinking about Mina. When Ki drinks the coffee, she finds the taste strange and leaves without finishing it. Sajō asks whether she is not going to drink it. When he tastes it himself, he realizes that he accidentally added salt instead of sugar. Later next day, after finishing his shift, Sajō steps outside the store and notices a boy standing there. The moment he sees him, Sajō realizes that this is Mina's older brother. At the same time, Mina also comes outside and notices Sajō. Mina's brother looks at her and says that he had been searching for her everywhere. He adds that Mina even asked their mother to keep this job a secret. He then suggests that since the work is done, the 3 of them should go eat together. Hearing this, Mina immediately panics and refuses. Mina's brother then turns to Sajō and asks who he is. Sajō introduces himself and explains that he is Mina's senior at work. While at school they are classmates. Seeing the tension, Sajō suggests that they go somewhere cool and talk calmly. Hearing this, they all move to a cafe. At the cafe, Mina's brother apologizes and admits that after Yuri came into his life, he started ignoring Mina. He asks her if they can go back to how things were before. Mina replies that the place he is talking about now belongs to Yuri. Her brother tells her not to worry and says that Yuri would not mind. Just then, Yuri appears, and it is revealed that Yuri works at that cafe. Yuri comes and sits beside Mina's brother and tells Mina that it has been a long time since they met. She says that she now understands why Mina started a part-time job and apologizes for taking her brother's support away from her. Yuri also says that she does not want to create problems within her family and asks her to come back home. At this point, Sajō steps in and asks them to listen to Mina as well. He explains that Mina is working properly at the shop and doing well. He says that it is natural for couples to spend time together and unintentionally ignore others, and that Mina chose this path to congratulate them in her own way. Sajō adds that if Mina slowly becomes independent, it will be good for her future. He tells them that they should give her some time to understand what she wants. Hearing this, both Mina's brother and Yuri feel relieved and leave happily. After they go, Mina asks Sajō whether she was wrong and requests him to tell her honestly what he thinks of her. Sajō replies that from her brother's perspective, he was not wrong, because he thought bringing her back home was the right thing to do. From Mina's perspective, she was also not wrong, because she apologized sincerely and is trying to grow. The next day, Sajō was working again when Fuka arrives at the shop. Seeing her, Sajō refreshes his mood like a senior trying to stay calm. Fuka comes closer and complains about the heat, saying that her hair is getting ruined. While they were talking, Mina arrives. Sajō looks at both of them and thinks to himself that one is a middle school student who looks like a college student, while the other is a high school student who feels younger than expected. Because of this, he keeps getting confused. Inside the shop, Fuka starts discussing books with Mina. Watching them, Sajō thinks that this is what happens when two people who love reading meet. Suddenly, Sajō receives a message from Keed, asking whether he is free. Sajō goes to help her. She tells him that she is surprised he is still doing a part-time job and that she heard he is taking care of Mina as well. Sajō asks how she knows. She replies that he should not underestimate a student council vice president. Sajō assumes that Mina's brother must have told her. He then asks why she works so late despite being vice president. She complains that student council work feels like slave labor. When Sajō reacts, she warns him not to act like a hero. She then tells him that since he has time, he will help her during the school tour. Sajō argues that there are already students from his class helping. She replies that they still need more people and reminds him that the president already asked for his help earlier, but he refused. She tells him to help the president this time. Sajō hesitates but finally agrees, saying that he will not work for free. He then walks away to make coffee. Ki tells him that Shinomia will definitely be happy knowing that you'll help. She then starts teasing him about his relationship with Shinomia and hands him her phone so he can talk to her. When Shinomia answers the call, she asks where Keed is and who is calling. Sajō replies that Keed was sleeping beside him. Hearing this, Keed becomes furious and pulls Sajō's ears. Shinomia immediately realizes it is Sajō and asks Keed to let him go. After being released, Sajō complains that his ears are ruined. Sajō then asks whether she still needs help for the school tour and says he is ready. Shinomia was surprised and asks why he changed his mind. Sajō asks her not to tease him and says that he personally wants to see her working. Hearing this, Shinomia becomes extremely shy. Sajō adds that he will do anything to help her. Completely flustered, Shinomia finally accepts his help. The next day, when Sajō meets the president, she was still visibly shy. Sajō tells her that they should start working. She explains that their main task is to guide middle school students during the tour, talk to them, and show them around the school. While talking, they reach the student council members. Seeing Sajō, Mina's brother thanks him and says that Mina keeps talking about him and that she returned home because of him. Sajō feels relieved and thinks that Mina's brother is a good person. He asks what his task will be, and Mina's brother explains everything. Later, a classroom scene is shown where a student council member explains things to middle school students and thanks everyone for their support. On the other side, Sasaki asks Aika whether she will come to watch his soccer match that week. She apologizes and says that she has to take care of her sister, but she thanks him for inviting her. Sasaki then asks about Eri, saying that he wants to meet her again. Aika reacts awkwardly and thinks about how she has never been good at opening up to people. She thinks about the time when she usually stayed at home and never gets the chance to talk about her life. This was the same day when Sajō slipped and fell, ruining his food. Everyone laughed at him, but Aika came forward and asked whether he was okay. Sajō said yes. Aika thinks to herself that she did not help him because of kindness alone, but because she saw him helpless with no one helping him. In that moment, she saw a reflection of herself in him, and without realizing it, that was the day her feelings began to change. change. That is why she helped him. There was no other reason behind it. Because of that kindness, from the very next day Sajō started following her. Slowly, people around her also began talking to her more. Everyone kept asking whether someone was following her, and if she ever needed help, they would beat that person up for her. Looking back, because she talked with Sajō and because people started talking to her through him, the family pressure she used to feel slowly started disappearing. Then the exam period arrived. During the exams, Sajō did not trouble her at all. On the result day, both of them got selected into the same school. Sajō loudly congratulated her and happily said that he wanted to attend high school together with her. Because he was shouting so much, she told him to keep his voice down or everyone would hear. Sajō then asked her to call him by his first name. He made such a big fuss about it that she eventually agreed. Even after entering high school, Sajō did not stop following her. In high school, she made good friends, including Ashida, and her days passed peacefully. But one day, Sajō suddenly stopped following her. From that day onward, she started feeling an emptiness. While feeling restless, she noticed Sajō in the distance and instinctively started chasing after him. However, every time she tried to find him, he was always somewhere else. She kept running around the school looking for him. After searching for a long time, she finally found him. She was running so fast that she crashed straight into him. Sajō called her by her surname. Hearing that, she became flustered. She told him that she had noticed how hard he worked today and stepped very close to him. Sajō was shocked and wondered why she was standing so close. He asked whether she was in a good mood today and why she was sitting so close to him. Realizing what she was doing, she quickly stepped back. Sajō assumed she had accidentally gotten too close. He then asked why she was in such a hurry. She replied honestly that she saw him and ran toward him. Sajō asked whether she had gone to the beach recently. She was surprised and asked how he knew. Sajō told her that Ashida had sent him a photo of her wearing a swimsuit. She said that the photo had been deleted and demanded to see his phone. As she tried to grab it, Sajō held her hand. Both of them became embarrassed as a romantic moment formed between them. Just then, Ashida arrived and said that her work was done and they could leave. She asked Sajō why he came to school that day. Sajō explained that his sister asked him to help with arranging the school visit tour. Ashida then teased him by saying that things were going well between him and Mina. Sajō immediately denied it and said there was nothing like that. The next day, meanwhile at the school, the second-year orientation began. Aika and Sasaki were guiding 4 girls around the school, and among them was Fuka, who had come for admission. They showed the girls the school facilities and the playground. At that moment, Sasaki noticed that some students were bothering Yuyu. Seeing this, Aika became angry and went to protect her. The middle school boys, seeing her, were stunned by her beauty. She told them that the school did not need students like them. Later, they apologized and she forgave them. She then noticed Sajō and was about to call him, but Fuka called out to his name first and started running towards Sajō. Seeing this, Sajō thought that trouble was coming. He asked what she was doing there. Fuka replied that he should not act like a stranger and introduces him to her friends, saying that they shared a special relationship. She explained that whenever Sajō was free, he took her out. Hearing this, both Sajō and Aika were shocked. Then Aika dragged Sajō away, and before she could hit him, Sajō quickly explained everything. Aika then said that since he went out with Fuka, he would also go out with them next time. Sajō hesitated but eventually agreed. The next day, Sajō was working when it started raining. He moved the store items inside. He then noticed Aika standing outside in the rain. Sajō brings her inside the shop, and as she was completely soaked, so Mina gave her a towel. Sajō asked her where she was going and she replies that she came to meet him. Sajō scolded her for coming in the rain and said she could have come later. She asked whether he would continue working like this. Sajō replied that he would work only until summer break and that Mina had already learned the job well. At that moment, Fuka also arrives, completely soaked. Aika then used the towel to wipe Fuka's clothes. Seeing them together, Sajō blushes and reminded himself that Fuka was still just a child. Mina then calls Fuka closer and dried her with a towel. Sajō explained Aika that Fuka and Mina often meet because of book discussions and had become friends. Aika asks whether Sajō knew them well and whether he was close to them. Sajō denied it and asked why she always asks twisted things. Aika becomes embarrassed and changes the topic. Suddenly, she trips and was about to fall, but Sajō catches her, ending up very close. Seeing this, Mina and Fuka apologizes for interrupting and closes the shop gate. Aika then says that whenever she tried to talk to Sajō, people misunderstood. That was why she wanted to invite him to her house, because she wanted to talk a lot with him. Hearing this, Sajō was shocked. She also adds that he could also become an older brother to Eri, to which Sajō silently agrees. Later, when Sajō visited her house, Eri asked him to play with her. They started playing together, and later, Aika's mother also arrives and says that she didn't know they had guests. She instantly recognizes Sajō and says that she had heard many stories about him from her daughter. Sajju asked what kind of stories, but before she could answer, Aika pulled Sajju and Ashida outside. While leaving, her mother told Sajju to come again because she wanted to talk to him more. As they left, Sajju joked that she had a beautiful mother and sister, and Aika tells him not to say things like that, and after that Ashida then leaves them alone as her home was on different road. Sajju says that she could go home, but Aika insisted on walking him a little farther. As evening arrived, Aika opened up and says that at the start of school she had no friends, but suddenly she had many. She knew it was not natural and that it was because Sajju had supported her. She asked him to return to how he was before and said it hurt when he stopped talking to her properly. Hearing these words from Aika, Sajju promises her that he would talk to her like before. As they were about to part ways, Aika held his hand and Sajju thought to himself that he would never leave her alone again, holding back her hand. And the next day, Sajju greeted her with good morning and they walked to class together. And with that, The Dreaming Boy is a Realist comes to an end. So how was the video? Let me know in the comments. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe.